get familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Re-Rack. I am Nathan Brantley, per the usual, Cory Clausing. On today's episode, the fifth installment of said show, we have the topics of the Oklahoma Open, which the results are what we're going to talk about. Jonesboro Open this weekend, the stepladder has been decided. It's actually airing tomorrow. Well, now it'd be today.
Yes.
Today. And then we're going to talk about the clash of the GOATs between Norm Duke, Pete Weber, Walter Ray Williams. And then we're going to start on a debate that's going to be ongoing for quite some time about urethane and what Sean Rash had to say about it. So, speaking of Sean Rash, let's get started on this Oklahoma Open. He ran the table.
Did not see that coming.
No, not at all. Do I still think he should be number 2? No, I don't. No. I still don't think that. Yes, qualifying match play, cool, but no, he should not be number 2. I'm still holding firm to that. Unless he does something crazy the rest of the year, no.
He's won at least 2 more.
I need that. But Tommy Jones, though, on this Jonesboro Open show, and Chris Barnes, just remember what I said about these rankings and how suspect they were. Keep watch. But yeah, back to this. Packy did not take it. I'm really upset because I was super excited to talk all about that and to see him and chop it up with him about it. Also wanted Brad Miller to take something because,
I figured Brad would win it because they had 3 lefties, so I figured by the time it got to Brad, it'd just be trashed on that side.
See, and watching their vlog, he was talking about how tight it was since there wasn't any traffic over there. And he ran into a brick wall because Sean Rash shot 800 in the last week. Goodness.
289 in the title match.
Yeah, goodness. What can you do? You win some, you lose some. As they say, some days you're the dog, some days you're the hydrant. He just so happened that it wasn't even like it was just you couldn't do anything. You literally couldn't do anything. Same thing with Darren when he faced Tommy Jones. You can't do anything, so you can't even be mad about that. You take the L. Sometimes you get the hit, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not. Hopefully, since he took the second spot, he has the means to make another show this year and hopefully get his first title this year because that'd be awesome to see. I feel like he deserves it. But this urethane conversation,
yes,
I personally feel like we should not get rid of urethane. To me, it's like if you take a layup out of basketball. Because
it's like taking the dunk out of basketball just because these guys can already just
because you have 7-footers in the league. You can't have urethane walked so resin could run. Before initially urethane was the stuff and it was shot maker stuff. And now I do understand that urethane's a lot more OP and yes, they do trash the patterns.
Yes.
And for some people, I will say that it is a cop-out. For some people, it is a cop-out to make it so you don't have to make the shots that you could make and you don't have to execute as well because you're over there in a place all by yourself. And with the strength of the urethanes nowadays, you don't actually have to be a shot. You have to be more of a shot maker with resin than you do with urethane for certain people.
Yeah.
But
it still takes a lot of skill. I mean, Belmo just decided to use that on the Tournament of Champions last year when, he really didn't have to and he played the middle of the lane.
Yeah, it's one of those...
pure shot making.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, it's a tool in the bag that you could use, but you just have to know how and when to use it. But then there's some people like Jesper, people give him grief about only using urethane, but he was throwing resin this week. Was throwing resin in qualifying, and because it just didn't work out. So there's only so much you could do with urethane, and as long as you understand that can't be your crutch all the time, I don't see an issue with it. Urethane is awesome, but urethane also poses an issue because not even like tearing up the lane or anything, But, like, you got to know what you're doing with
Yeah.
the urethane to use the urethane. Like, it's not just like
Yeah.
you can throw it down the lane and it's going to strike every time.
Yeah, it's not a walking 300.
Yeah. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know your angles. You got to know where your hand is. There's some variables that you have to tweak in order to make it so urethane can be successful. So, for me, it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Resin would be my cop-out, per se,
Yeah.
compared to urethane, but it's dependent on your game.
Mm-hmm.
It is dependent on your game, but I don't feel like they should get rid of it. I really don't.
No.
This is a debate that's going on a lot of forums. Of course, Sean Rash brought it to the forefront, so it's going to keep going. And this is not the last time we're going to talk about it.
But it's funny, he did admit that he doesn't use urethane personally because he doesn't know how to use it.
So, which goes back to the point
I not really
that,
know how to use it, but not use it well enough to score.
Yeah, and you got to know what you're working with. Like he is now on a brand that has an asymmetrical urethane ball. Mm-hmm. They have the older Booyahs that you could find.
They have the reactive urethane mixes.
Yeah, they have the Shadow Ops and the Badger Infuse. They're playing around with cover stocks to make urethane motion kind of like the Purple Hammer. So that takes away from a giant market. Because a lot of people still love to throw the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I get that it can trash a pattern. Mm-hmm. But to me, coupled with the point that I've been talking about for the past 2 or 3 weeks, you could strike, the good ones can strike on whatever with whatever. Yeah. Yes, it helps more when you're doing this, that, or the other, but the good ones find a way. And taking away urethane... Sometimes urethane helps. Sometimes it creates push in places that you didn't think there was push. Sometimes it creates a spot. It burns a spot for you, or you didn't think there was a spot. Mm-hmm. Like it's because you're slapping super amounts of surface on urethane balls, so you can make a cliff easily. But
I mean, if we're talking about banning the ball because it trashes the pattern, then at the same logic, we should ban people like Jason Belmonte because he trashes a pattern the wrong way.
See,
that's just the logic we're using.
No, and that logic is, and I've had video conversation with my mom about that.
Yeah, because I mean, every pro ever will tell you if they get the Belmos pair, they're like, oh gosh, somebody's going to score low on here.
Yeah, it's going to hook a lot, or it's going to do things that you weren't prepared for because, of course, you're not standing there watching what he's doing. And depending on your ball rep, hopefully they can help you out with it. But it's kind of where the game is going. Belmo is two-handed. There's more people being two-handed. Yeah. So, it's adding more revs. Yeah, he's going to thrash a pattern. He's going to break down a pattern quicker. And then urethane's also going to do different things to a pattern. It's just how the game's going. Yeah. It's not a plus or a minus in either which direction. Sometimes you need, if you're bowling on Badger or Dragon, you need some extra hook.
Yeah.
So if you cross a pair with Belmo, you're like, wow, I got some room. Mm-hmm. That's cool. But then if you're playing a shorter pattern, someone's chucking urethane up the ditch, it's shoving in some miss room.
Yeah.
So it's all about how you're deciding to tackle it, and it's just a part of the game. It's you're never gonna get away from it. At least I hope not. I hope we're not deciding to take away balls just because people get mad at what they do to a pattern. Yeah, I do understand if you're getting frustrated about people throwing urethane balls on house shots.
Yeah.
That, okay, all right, fine, because I don't see the purpose of throwing it on a house shot because it's free hook everywhere. Mm-hmm. But as far as patterns, I don't see the need to take it away.
No, I mean,
like in any format that I've bowled, any state that I've bowled, no.
And the arguments they just feel illogical. Like just like the lofting argument, like we just need to get rid of it because oh my gosh, we don't like seeing balls go in the air. I mean, then the oil technology needs to catch up with the ball technology.
People try to sit there and say that lofting is for lack of skill because they can't manipulate a ball to not do X, Y, Z. The game has changed, so rev rates are a lot higher. And it's like everybody's not throwing them like Norm Duke. Sometimes Norm Duke even has to take the fronts out of play and loft over them. But it's just to a point that it's a part of your tool set that you have to do. I don't want to loft them past the arrows all the time. It is not... Yeah, it's cool when you can do it, but sometimes it just gets annoying because you just have to keep going left and keep throwing them farther.
No, the lane doesn't get wider.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's something you have to do. If you want to score, you have to do it. Just like if you want to score and there's urethane, you have to get over it. It's the way it is in today's game. So it's just something you gotta deal with. Don't get bitter, get better is what I always say. And for the moment, until anything changes with that, just get better. Don't frown. There's enough resin going down the lane. There's more resin going down the lane than there is urethane. And urethane's not about to demolish a pattern to make it so no resin, to make it so treacherous that you can't score. There's
resin destroys a pattern just as much as urethane does.
And then if you're playing certain angles with surface is what actually demolishes a pattern faster than urethane balls do. But it's whatever. To each their own. Like I said, this is not the last time we're going to talk about this. It's going to be an ongoing discussion for probably years, but now it's actually been a discussion before, and it's resurfaced because he took his platform and his time to shine to discuss his transgressions with certain things in today's game. Speaking of urethane, on the channel we are actually going to have a battle of the brands in the form of urethane balls, purple urethane balls. It's going to be a pitch purple, Storm's newest release that is on the way, versus a purple hammer. So stay tuned to the Bowling Fix because we're going to have this urethane battle. And earlier we referenced how the purple hammer was going to be replaced. We're going to see if the pitch purple actually is what we say it could be. But speaking of more bowling, the Jonesboro Open, as I said before, the top 5 has been named. It is Tommy Jones in the 5 spot, Chris Barnes in the 4 spot. Super excited for this matchup because they keep going back and forth. Tommy has the edge by 1 title, so I kind of hope that Chris takes it just to snap him.
I want to see the trash talk after Chris wins
that'd be fantastic. Then the great one at the moment, Jason Belmonte, is on the show as the 3rd seed. AJ Johnson, the dark horse, has managed to snag a 2 spot. He's learning how these motive balls roll, and he's trying to make it happen. Oh, yeah. More power to him. And Kyle Troop is your 1 seed for the show. That's exciting.
Team Afro.
Yeah, as a person who got to hang out with him and spend time with him when he was in Wichita for the Open, he's good people. I'm a big fan of Kyle Troop. He's hilarious, and I'm glad he found his way back on the show. I'm glad he only has to throw one game to get himself a title. I'm excited for it. It's been a little bit, and I'm glad he's healthy, back in full effect, making it happen. And good luck to him. Good luck to everybody, but I have my own favorites.
I mean, I feel like this is actually going to be a decent show because you have 2 of the best people at breaking down a lane to start off the
the old heads. The old heads are about to make it happen.
And Belmo's going to take full advantage of it.
And there's no lefties on the show. Ooh. There's no lefties. So everybody's going to have to get around everybody. I'm excited for it. I'm super excited for it. And then it's a nice little preface to the Super Bowl. But speaking of other old heads, there's a GOAT Clash that was announced by Flow Bowling for $50,000. The breakdown would actually be for first is $25K, for second is $15K, and for third it's $10K. But this GOAT Clash involves 3 of the great ones: Norm Duke, Pete Weber, and Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Is he going to throw it 2-handed or 1-handed?
You know, whatever gets him to the butter. It's okay. But May 7th is the date that it's going to be broadcasted on Flow Bowling. And that'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe is what it said. But there's some numbers behind this that when I looked at it, like, I knew how good they were. And I knew their greatness. But the numbers just looking at them on paper were kind of wild to me.
Yeah, they're crazy.
154 combined PBA and PBA 50 titles between the 3 of them. And then if you include regionals in the mix, 266 titles. How? I get they've been bowling forever, and all 3 of them have been at the top of the game for forever, but that's a lot.
That's like the rest of the current tour combined.
That's a lot of titles, man. Ooh, when I saw this announced, I had something that popped into my head. I guess could prompt discussion. It'll be shot down really quickly, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Parker Bone III.
Oh.
How do you feel about him not being considered for this? Was it a situation where they just wanted to have a trio situation? Or was it a thing where they're like, nah, Parker hasn't been doing a whole lot, so we'll just go ahead and take them?
Or what if there's 3 righties on this one? What if they're just gearing up for a 3 lefty one with like Parker, Jason Couch, and insert other
that
Patrick
is,
Allen.
That
who else?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That is something that I didn't
do an overall goat of the 2 winners.
That'd be something different. I'd be excited for it because if you want to say that Parker's not, I guess, competing, I'd say he still is because he's out there on the 50 tour. He's making sure his sons are solid, doing his dad thing. But in recent success, Parker has more success than Pete recently.
Yes.
So for you to consider him one of the GOATs, yes, his attitude and his outlandishness has gotten him to an aura, along with his ability. Don't get me wrong, his ability is unreal. 5 U.S. Opens, unreal. It's 5, right?
Yeah, it's
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, 2012 was the 5th one.
Yep, the infamous. But I feel like Parker Bowe, if you consider living legends at the moment, Parker should be in that conversation. So for you to make a GOAT clash, why would you not consider him if he's one of the GOAT lefties? So I'm intrigued on the logic that went behind creating this idea. I'm gonna watch it regardless.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
But I just want to know because he's honestly a nice guy. Met him in person. He's cool people. But how did he end up getting left out? Because I didn't necessarily take into consideration his title count, but we got 47 titles from Walter, Norm with 40, and then Pete with 37. I'm pretty sure he's higher up in the 30s. So, right there in contention. But he got left off the sheet. Hopefully, I would definitely watch what you're talking about because I could get jiggy
even
on
Johnny
that.
Petragular, he's still bowling.
True, but then is it going to be one of those things where like he just goes out there and just kind of throws a ball to be there, or is he actually going to compete like that?
That's a good question.
Because when you get older, like it's not as easy and you're not able to stroke him as much. And like him being on the PBA 50 tour, that's cool, but is it going to be as competitive of a match? Is he still able to keep up with the scoring pace that all 3 of them can bring? Because if you bring Jason Couch can strike a ton.
Oh yeah,
all of them could, but could he keep up with those other 3? That would be a thing.
He's been waxing on the PBA 50. But,
Okay.
But I mean,
it's
still hard to compete with some of them.
It's hard to keep up with them.
Or solution solved. We do the PBA playoffs.
Okay.
But you have to have at least 20 titles or above.
Goodness, that'd be an extra step to it, but that would eliminate
that cut out. Or you can go 15 titles or above. Okay, so it gets you a lot of the old guys.
15 would give you all the old heads, and it
you get Chris Barnes, Tommy Jones, all the PBA 50 people. Well, a lot of the PBA 50.
Goodness, okay, but are you making it where it's just national titles, like PBA and PBA 50 national titles, or are you including regional victories? Because that's a very important thing to specify.
I don't know. I'm just giving the PBA an idea.
Okay. You're just pitching it. That's fine.
We have to see the numbers. I mean, if there wasn't enough people with the national title, then you can add the regionals in there.
Fair.
Or you can use a mix of both if you don't feel like the competition's good enough.
Or you could, I guess, if you wanted to levy it like this, you could go based on like tour card time, how long you've had your card for, how long you've been on tour. Yeah. So then that eliminates, like, say if you did it for 10 years, like 10 years and above, that would eliminate a decent chunk of the youngins now. And then you'd still have a nice full crop of talent who maybe they've been on tour for a decent chunk of time. They're really good, but they bowled. The times that they bowled, they were right there, but they always got beat because the Belmos or the Petes or the Norms or whoever was taking it over stuck and just beat them in their time. So I feel like that's also an idea. I'm down for all of it. I always want to get jiggy and watch some bowling. So definitely down for that. But
I will take credit for the idea.
Oh yeah, most def. If that comes out,
I'm citing this and spamming the PBA until they give me credit.
There's going to be a lot of tagging in our videos. It seems like soon because we got some shout outs to Flow Bowling for how I feel about their list. And now we got him added to PBA, which is a huge deal now because of the acquisition. But best believe our fingers are going to be working on that add button. As for next episode, we got results from Jonesboro on the way. We're probably going to discuss some Super Bowl stuff. Not really take a step out of the bowling realm, but since we're in Kansas, we must talk about the Super Bowl. It's impossible for us not to with the Chiefs in it. And I'm sure there's going to be some other hoopla in the world of bowling that is going to pop up because this season thus far has been a very topic-filled season. So we're going to have some other stuff to talk about. But that's all for today's episode. I am Nathan Brantley. This is Cory Clausing. This is Re-Rack. As always, like, share, subscribe. Make sure to tell your friends, tell your mom. Yeah, go ahead and put your dog in front of the screen. I'm sure if he barks loud enough, somebody's going to come watch the show. Go ahead, just spread it around for us. Spread it around. But until next time, take care. See you.